Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's post-game press conference following the match between Norfolk State University and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, which your final score is 61-50. Joining us are head coach Jermaine Woods and student athletes Jaisha Clinton and Sari Worley. Coach, we'll start off with you with an opening statement, followed by quick questions. Coach, whenever you're ready.
What an amazing group. What an amazing group. If y'all know what we go through behind the scenes, man, y'all be like, what's going on, man? Like, these young women, we had some adversity this morning, courtesy of me, and it shook us up a little bit. And we talked about, how we put it to the side and, how we passed through it, and adversity reveals character. And what you saw tonight was some high character women that has been persevering all year and fighting through every battle. And I'm so proud of the effort that they displayed today in front of the hometown fans. I couldn't say more about Jaisha today. She's fighting a lot, a whole lot. And she stuck with it and fought through it. And we know Sari today, she stepped it up. We needed, I told her before the game, we need you to score. And she stepped it up. But just the total team effort, man, we're coming along, and I want to say thank you to them for fighting through what we went through this morning. I appreciate these young women so much. I'm not going to tell you what we went through this morning, no.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, we'll open the floor for questions for both the student athletes and the head coach. Sir.
So this was obviously a sloppy game for both teams in terms of turnovers at the very least. From your perspective, kind of what goes into that, and what does it mean to you to be able to come to a game where, not being able to take care of the ball the way that you would usually be able to?
It's happened week one, man. Like, I don't like you came with this. We turned the ball over, but we talked about it a little bit. But the most important thing for us today was not fouling and giving up O boards, and we didn't foul. We gave up 33 free throws yesterday. Today we gave up 8. We gave up 17 O boards yesterday. Today we gave up 7. And so once we had 7 turkeys in the beginning of the fourth quarter, I knew we would win. You get 7 turkeys, you got a 99% chance to win the game, 95%. And so it's just a matter of taking care of the ball with pride. And but we did enough. We did enough to win the game. And they shot 40%. We usually don't let people shoot that high percentage on us, but we got a lot of stops when we needed it.
Yes, sir.
Coach, we talked earlier in the week, from when you started to now be one game away from being able to go to the NC. What does that mean to be able to get to the championship game?
It means more for me, for them, because we went through some things this year, and I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through a lot. My life has came full circle back here in Norfolk State, from Norfolk. So I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot. But for young women their age who's growing up in their young adult years, the most important years of their lives, to be able to go through what we went through this year and still persevere and make it to the championship game and have a chance to be a champion is a kudos to them. And I appreciate them for just staying with it, because it started off rocky, right? And I just told everybody it's not going to look like last year, but we'll be back in the championship game. And I've been telling you guys that, and now we're back in the championship game.
Coach, you mentioned you mentioned yesterday how you need Jaisha, AJ, and Debria to score. And Debria and AJ, they showed up in different ways tonight, but not in scoring.
Yep.
How challenging was it, if it was a challenge, to work around that and find different ways to get those points?
I just told Debria in the locker room, I said she didn't force what? She didn't force shots, right? She's not open, right? So the ball just got to move, right? And she moved the ball and got people open. And when we take good shots, we're pretty good. And we've been telling Sari, you're open, baby. Like, you're open. And she took off today, and she didn't hesitate. Well, a couple times. I should have shot it. But when we move the ball, we're pretty good. When the ball today, the ball went side to side a lot and opened up driving lanes for Jaisha especially. And Jaisha made some big shots too. Good gracious, she made some big shots, but her foot not on the line. There was really 3, so I was proud of her for that. But Bree and AJ not scoring only affects us if we're trying to force it. But people pay so much attention to Bree that if she makes the right play, we're pretty good. And today she did, and I'm proud of her for that.
You're coming home. Did I jump over something?
No, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead,
Coach,
sir.
you're coming home. You stepped into some big shoes to fill.
I got big feet.
Big.
I got big feet.
And you had a few players that stayed. I think it was 3 young ladies that stayed.
Yeah.
What kind of pressure is it now to come back to the 6th time, to play Howard in the championship?
No pressure. We talked about this when I took the job. When you sign up for this job, you sign up to win the championship. That's it. That's what you sign up for. When they sign a scholarship, they sign to win the championship. That's it. So it's never with pressure. Everybody who's been around our games, who's been covering our games this year, we never put pressure on ourselves. We always stayed the course. And even when we were down in non-conference, we still say, still going for it, right? And that's the thing. But there's no pressure. Like, I got big feet. I'm prepared for anything. I'm not worried about any shoes to fill. I got my own sneakers. I got a bunch of them. And so I'm cool in my own shoes. So no pressure at all.
Sir.
I want to ask Suri and Jason, for both of you guys. Going to the championship game now, I know Coach talked about it, but what's it mean to you guys now to be one win away from getting this done and going back to the big dance?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say for me, like, I was sitting in this seat last year, like on the other side, losing to Norfolk State. So for me, I feel like it's a big step for just me as a person because, like, I changed as a player within 1 year. And I also feel like last year at Coppin, it was like game by game. Here, it's like you have to be in a championship or nothing. Like, it's like it's either we win or it just, the season ain't happen. So I feel like for me, being here, like, everybody that comes to the game supports, like, it just makes you want to play more and play harder to bring it back home.
Go ahead, Jason.
Jason, how about you?
What's it mean to be in the championship?
Yeah, for you and the team.
It means a lot to me. Like, I get excited when we go put that little sticker on the board. Like, I'm like, get out my way, let's go, y'all. But it means a lot to me, and I'm just proud I even get this far with this team and the coaching staff, and let my daughter see me get it this far. So I'm just excited.
There you go.
Gentlemen, sir, do you have a cue? Sir?
You got to follow up.
Can I do one?
Go ahead.
Do you have one? You sold it. You asked? Oh, perfect. Coach, I did want to ask you one thing. The second quarter, we sort of called a timeout kind of early in the frame. It seemed like after that, you guys really clamped down defensively and kind of that's when the tide seemed to turn. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're good.
What happened in that timeout, and what did you guys talk about, and what adjustments did you make?
So you've been around me all year. You know I don't call timeouts. Like I'm not a timeout guy. Like, I think the only reason to call a timeout is if you have something to say. Like, a lot of coaches call timeouts to stop runs and you just fussing the whole time and nothing's getting accomplished. But in that timeout, we missed some assignments, right? And the people were shooting the ball, again, that we didn't want to shoot. And so we had some confusion on assignments, some switches, some hollow action that they did, some different things they did, and we had to get back together and figure out, like, what are we doing wrong? And I think they had 14 points before the media timeout, and they didn't score again for a long time after that, once we corrected it, right? And so that was a big part, and I'm proud of myself for calling the timeout because I usually don't, but we just need to fix our defense. I didn't even talk about offense, did I? Like, I never really talk about offense in the huddle. It's all about defense. I let these young ladies play. So we were missing some assignments, and we had to get that right. And once we corrected it, it got fixed.
What's it going to take to beat Howard?
Everyone. It's going to take gut, heart, effort. You know, they had a day off. We 3 games in 3 days. They play 10, 11, 12 people. You know, we don't play that many. You know, but we've been through a lot, and we're gonna rehab. But it's gonna take not fouling and rebounding, right, and being steady and not missing assignments. And so we got to prepare the right way. But it's gonna take everybody. It's gonna be a tough game. We're prepared for it. You know, it's no tomorrow, right? So the championship game, and you get a chance to dance, right? And so whatever you're aching, whatever it's feeling, we got to fix it and figure it out and worry about it next week. But it's gonna take a team effort, and so we got to prepare ourselves.
Sir?
Sari, whether it happened or at Norfolk, you still find a way to hit that big shot. I'm just talking about how Thurl really has a chance. You found a way to deliver.
I feel like every time I have a bad day, I know something better is coming. So I know if it was gonna be today, but I'm like, we gonna have to win like this. And I seen from the beginning like how they was playing, and when we in a game, like, this is probably not a good thing, but I be hearing him, but I also be hearing like what they be saying too. So I knew like what was gonna be open. So for me, I felt like it was just making sure like staying ready and making sure my feet is set and knocking it down.
That's a really good thing. Good. That's smart. I gotta do a better job at that.
Kind of picking back off of that, now that you have Howard next, they denied you a share of the regular season title. Is that something that might be in the back of your mind, like it's time for them to get back, but this is
Nah, ain't no get back. It's move forward, man. Like we want to win, right? And and the goal is they beat us, right? They beat us, and so once you get beat, you know, you got to pick yourself up, and you got to dust it off, and you got to come back and fight harder, and that's what we're doing. We're not gonna make it personal. We're gonna make it about basketball, and the goal is to beat Howard to get to the NCAA tournament. It ain't personal; it's business.
Defense. You talked about how missing assignments in the second caused called a timeout and it changed the tide.
Mhm.
In the second half, it felt like you guys locked in defensively,
Yeah.
and it was a completely different second half on that end of the court. What was going into that, and how did you lean into the identity that you talked about all year in those moments?
Yeah, that third quarter and the fourth quarter is kind of skewed because they were scoring at the end. They made some shots at the end, right? But that third quarter, we really clamped down and made them take tough shots. But we just made adjustments at halftime. So I've changed. I don't go in halftime fussing anymore. We talk about the positive first, right? And then we talk about adjustments, right? And they respond to that. Like, I have a team that responds to a lot of positivity, and I get on them a lot. And I promised them that I would be crazy. We had a crazy week of practice, but I would come back. But we made some defensive adjustments, and I'm looking at the fourth quarter's numbers at 46%. You know, it's kind of, they got those threes at the end, which is fine, but the most important thing, we didn't foul, right? And usually when we lose, the team's shooting 30, 25, 26 free throws, and they couldn't get to the free throw line, and they only had 7 O-boards. But I thought our defense, we just packed the paint. Like, we just talked about packing the paint, and Jaisha, who was in practice, and she was like, Coach, but if she there, do I got to still go there? And I was like, yeah, Jaisha, let's show everybody, right? And they followed the game plan. I hope I answered your question.
Any further questions?
She ready to go.
It's like, what's up?
Got one?
Yeah, Coach. Sorry if I missed this, but you know, kind of a tough start. I believe it was 10 turnovers through the first quarter, 15 in the first half. What was that conversation like, kind of coming into the second quarter when you guys really started to heat up as well, but then going into the second half as well? It kind of seemed like things were more in sync mentally, but also physically as well.
I've stopped fussing about turnovers, I believe, right? I didn't.
You
I did. So,
we
so when the old me, when they turned it over, I was yelling and screaming, but they already know they messed up. And so my job now is to tell them how to fix it. And so I don't think I yelled about any turnover. Like, Jaisha got first.
We just changed what we did a little bit. So
Go ahead.
You changed us up a little
Talk to him. Go ahead.
He just changed our positioning. Like, he didn't more so fuss. He just like,
the same
go here, pass it here, pass this.
Same
So
amount of turnover.
what he said worked. So we just stuck to the game plan.
I forgot I changed it.
You did.
We changed our press break. That's a good point. Thank you. Oh, that was so nice of you. And go ahead, Serena.
No, I was just saying that we had like the same amount.
Yeah, so
same amount of turnovers.
we made an adjustment to press break. So usually we don't have trouble with presses, ever, because we have Jason Clinton, right? But they did something to take that pass away that we usually go to. And so we had to make an adjustment, and it took me a while to figure it out. That's why I didn't call it timeout or fuss, because it's my fault. I got to make an adjustment. But once I figured it out, I was like, okay, here we go. We can fix it. And like she said, we've never worked on what we did either.
Yeah, so we just changed it in the game and we just went with it.
Now, another consecutive title. I mean, I know this would be your first with NSU. I mean, just how would that feel? How important is that?
For me?
For you, but then also how to know.
Go ahead.
Well, first for Suri and Coach Wood, but then how would that feel for getting you another one this year?
This would be our first one.
This will be your first one.
This would be
Everybody
first.
first. I mean, I feel like this year is probably the one year where I had to deal with like a whole bunch of change. Like Coach Woods coming in, a whole bunch of new girls. Like I never really dealt with like a whole bunch of like different people at one time. So I feel like for me that was a lot, even off the court. And then once we got it together on the court, it took us, a little bit of some time. So I feel like this would mean the most, like winning this, because it's like, dang, like you remember how we looked in June when we all got together. So.
I'll go first. You want to go?
I won't go because I got something in my head
Go ahead.
already.
Go ahead, baby.
I feel like going to the championship is kind of like personal for me because I changed a lot. So my teammates right now, they don't really know like the past Jason. So for me, this is just, I don't know, it's a big change for me, and I'm just happy to get to the championship and just be this new person that I am for my daughter.
So I was going to say that. I was going to make sure I mentioned that. Jaisha came here to win the championship. That's why she came here. And she always said she wanted one for her daughter. And I push her to limits that nobody can even imagine because I know how important it is for her legacy. And I make sure, I challenge her in ways that's sometimes unexplainable. But this one's gonna mean a lot because of the collection of young women that we have and what we've been through this year and the things we had to push through in order to get here. And tomorrow night, if we get the confetti for us, guys, I'm gonna act a fool. I'm telling you
We
right
all
now,
is.
it's gonna be crazy.
Be
But
prepared.
we gotta prepare the right way, and we gotta get some rest tonight and make sure we tighten up and get treatment, get everybody healthy. But it's gonna be special for sure.
We're going to wrap up with questions there. Thank you, Coach, and thank you to the student athletes as well. We appreciate your time. At this time, we will hear from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, which fell to Norfolk State University with the score 51-60. We are joined by head coach Malika Willis and student athletes Lainey Allen and Brianna Barnes. Coach will begin with the opening statement from you, and then we'll open the floor for questions. Whenever you're ready.
This wasn't the outcome that we wanted, of course. We came out playing really, really tough defense like we normally do. Again, that's our identity. I felt like we just had a drop-off as the game went on, and it got tougher for us, and we had to face adversity, and I'm not sure we handled it as well as I would like us to. But hopefully we're looking at some postseason play. I think this team is definitely good enough to continue to play, and we have a lot more in us.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now open the floor for questions for the student athletes and the head coach.
Coach, talk about that second quarter. Seemed like y'all kind of ran into a wall a bit and tried to adjust.
Yeah, we when it comes easy to us and we get turnovers and score for turnovers early, then when it usually happens that way. When we have to get in the half court, we start doing things that are uncharacteristic. I feel like we were turning the ball over a lot, just driving and passing and not really having a plan. So we weren't executing on offense, and we were playing a lot of defense then, and that had us running out of gas a little bit because we were still pressing at that point. But it was quick turnovers on offense and long defensive plays, and then knocking the ball out of bounds. We're on defense again because we're still trying to get it back. So yeah, it just was not the execution offensively. We got really free with it, and we were not executing and moving the ball and sticking to the scout. Our scout was to reattack, continue to reattack, and we took a lot of jump shots outside of those turnovers.
Game seemed a little familiar. It's like we played 3 times this year, and it seemed like every game looked the same. When you have to play a team 3 times, how much can you really change?
Yeah, I'm pretty creative, so I have a whole bunch of stuff in the back of my mind that I had, and I would tell them about it in the one day that we had to prep for Norfolk State. But it was a few things that we were going to change. We changed our ball screen coverage, and then the way we pressed at the end of the game, we changed a little bit. But, you have to playing somebody 3 times, you have to change, because they know what you're going to do. So I think it was effective early on. And again, we just we have to want it more than the opponent.
So for each of the players, this group of upperclassmen has been through a lot together and has taken a lot of steps together. I know it might be hard in this moment to take a step back and look at everything, but what are you feeling about what this group has accomplished?
I'll go first. I'm feeling gratitude for the team that I got to have this year. Like, this is the most I've ever been connected to a team on the court and off the court, and from the whole team basically being new, brought in, being young, we would have never expected that we would have made the progress that we made this year. And it's due to the coaching, it's due to our connection, it's due to our dedication and determination to get the championship. And even though we fell short, I still feel like we had a great season. We had an 8-winning season, and that's never happened before. We've broken records. So I think it's amazing what this group has done. And even though we didn't finish the way we wanted to, I cherish this team, and they can go so much further than this. And we will probably in the postseason. So I'm excited for y'all to see that.
I agree with Lainey. I feel like this is one of the best teams that I've played on my whole career. Even in the beginning of the season, I've told Coach Willis, most of the times, she recruited very well. Even though everybody is young, these are a great group of girls, very talented, very driven, and it was very much I'm very much grateful that I was able to play on this team and make history. And I feel like it's never over. It's not going to be over, so I want us to continue to do that, continue to build and make a name for ourselves, a statement.
I know you have an NIT game coming up, hopefully for you guys, but, how does this springboard you to next year? Because you've made significant improvements from first to second year, and now, third year coming up. I know you don't want to look too far because you're here, but does this give you something semifinal Friday? You know what I'm saying? The records, like you said, the record changing, and you're seeing UMES now at the top of the conference and not where it used to be middle to bottom. How's that feel going next year?
Well, when I think about, I'm always thinking about recruiting. So it will make recruiting easier. When you win, people want to, actually answer the phone. So, that's really what I think when I think about our record in this season and things like that, is how we could continue to promote the program and recruit and expand, our locations where we do recruit all over the map, and just continue to get talent. We still have some areas that we were deficient in this year, which we knew, but that's what we get paid to do, so we coached the heck out of it, and we got what we got out of, those deficiencies. So recruiting-wise, we just got to hit the trail. We got some good freshmen coming in, and we got to hit the portal and a few transfers, get a few more transfers in and go from there.
Finally, for me, Coach, what does Norfolk State do? Well, both of these are defensive teams, 60 points, 50, 50. So
Yeah.
In the 50s, the game probably was in the 50s,
Yeah.
but it was in the 60s. What do they do well defensively that makes it hard for you to score?
Well, they overplay a lot on the wings, and you got to really want to get open. And a lot of times today, like, we would go to one side of the floor and they wouldn't be open. We have to go to the other side, and that's a lot of dribbling the ball, just to get somebody open. So they do that well. They get in them passing lanes. Clearly, got a few people on defensive team, all that. So yeah, they make it hard to move the ball in the half court. So then we got to make sure, we kept the ball on one side of the floor a lot because of that. So we needed to move it from side to side. But yeah, that wing entry stuff would really hurt us today.
Any further questions?
Coach, what do y'all need to learn from this experience to make a run in this postseason?
I think we've learned from previous experiences. We know it's going to be hard. We really have to look at ourselves in the mirror and understand that, are we going to do it or just talk about it? So we know what it is, and our staff talks about it, our players talk about it. And I always say it's hard. I've won championships as a player, in college, things like that. And it's hard. It's just flat out hard. It's not easy. You got to bring everything. You got to be able to have the tough conversations on the court. You got to be accountable. You got to be reliable. You got to do the dirty work. It's no excuses. So those kind of things we're still teeter-tottering with. We got to just leave it all out there, all of it out there. So those are the things that we've learned previously also, but we're just going to have to do it.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you to the student athletes as well. We appreciate your time and wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.